I'm Carol from Sunbury, Ohio.
I'm a Republican, but I don't care who does the job as long as the job gets done. That's why I like Sherrod Brown. He stood up to both parties on China and worked with Republicans to fight fentanyl because Sherrod fights for Ohio. That's leadership.
Paid for by friends of Sherrod Brown.
Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine. It's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Slot rises to the top in the Battle of the Baldies against Maresca's Chelsea. 10-men Arsenal succumbed to a set-piece masterclass by Bournemouth. And last-minute VAR drama sees champions Man City take all 3 points against struggling Wolves. And have Manchester United turned the corner with Eric Ten Hag with a win against Brentford? All this and more on this episode of the Final Whistle podcast. Welcome to Game Week 8, everyone. And joining me after the international break, it's been long overdue, it's Ben. Ben, welcome back.
Thank you, yeah. A full weekend of red cards, controversy, and I love Battle of the Baldies. That's a brilliant title for it. But yeah, it's been a good weekend of football, so I'm looking forward to getting stuck into it.
Yeah, the real stuff was back and the 12:31 was exceptional, but we'll get to that in a minute. But let's talk about I'd say the headliner, Liverpool versus Chelsea. Liverpool winning 2-1. Jones coming in for Mac there for Liverpool. What an absolutely incredible introduction, because my word, he was pretty crucial in a lot of the things that happened today. But your thoughts about that result and performance, given that this little run of games is like the big test for Liverpool and Slot, you know, some big games are coming.
Yeah, I was looking at the run of fixtures, and although maybe at home to Chelsea isn't the most, you know, like you look at Arsenal away is potentially a tougher game, but this one was a really important one to kind of set the tone going into that run of fixtures, because if you drop points here, then all your momentum's kind of gone. It was crucial to win this one, and I thought Liverpool done really well. It was a real battle. Obviously, Chelsea have massively improved from what they were last season. Yeah. But yeah, I thought Liverpool managed it really well, and yeah, I thought Curtis Jones was sensational, to be fair to him.
I was actually, you know, when the second, of course, you know, he won the penalty that Mo Salah converted, but I think we have to give like a little bit of a shout out to Curtis Jones, because I think he gets a fair bit of criticism from people and Liverpool supporters as well in general. But he came in for Mac and I thought he actually performed really well. It's a really strange one. Listeners know I'm a Liverpool supporter, but even though I don't think Chelsea posed a lot of threat, I thought Liverpool handled them really well, but I was still really, really nervous watching this one.
Yeah, because you know the quality that they have, and obviously Cole Palmer had a really quiet game, and you kind of expecting him to just do, like, he has a moment of magic and multiple moments of magic normally, but you expect him to have like one moment where he really puts it on the back foot, and the same with the likes of Pedro Neto who came on, but it just didn't really happen. I thought Liverpool managed them really well. I thought Van Dijk and Canadi were immense again, and right through the middle I thought Gravenberch was amazing again, and then when you've got the likes of Curtis Jones flying in for blocks, that double block in the first half, absolutely incredible. Yeah. It's really good to see like the whole team fighting and defending for each other.
You know what made me laugh? Obviously, there's quite a nervy, touchy game towards the end. You know, I think it was 7 minutes of added time, and the ref had a shocker. Let's just be honest. We'll talk about him in a minute. I just felt like he was handing out yellow cards like it was Halloween candy. But when the ref kind of called it that Nunes fouled, and I just loved the reaction from Arne Slot as well. It was normally, I don't know, it was the first time I saw real kind of big emotion from him from the touchline. So, I mean, I like that from him.
Yeah, he's definitely coming out of his shell a bit. I think we saw a little bit of it at Palace before the international break, where he started to get a bit fed up with it. Maybe he's starting to realise the refereeing in this country isn't great. But yeah, today he fully lost it, and it is kind of nice to see that sort of emotion starting to come out of him. I think he is starting to come out of his shell a bit. And on days like this, you know, when you see your manager doing that, it gets the Anfield crowd up as well. And it seemed like the atmosphere has been a bit flat at Liverpool recently, but it seemed like it was on pretty good form today.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I thought Anfield was quite lively and booming, and I think, you know, I I think an evening kickoff helps with this. Going to be honest with you, I think when it's dark and Anfield's under the lights and it's a big team, I feel like the mood and the psyche changes amongst supporters as well. And I think obviously there's a lot of there's not much love lost between Liverpool and Chelsea, let's be honest. And I think that's a huge result and performance. Arne Slot, his Liverpool team are currently sat on top of the table. So I've got a quick question for you here. Is he quietly getting on with it, or is he making noise?
I would say still he's on the verge of starting it. I think if he picks up another few positive results against the likes of Arsenal, I think it'll be hard for him to stay under the radar much longer. But I think he's doing a really good job of kind of just keeping it steady, and nobody's expectations are really going overboard just yet. But I mean, I know Man City, I know we'll get onto them in a bit, but if they had dropped points today and Liverpool won today, it would have been really exciting. But I do think he is kind of keeping it calm, and I think the way he carries himself helps with that massively as well.
And how horrendous was the referee in this one? We'll talk about referees in general. I didn't really want to talk about them, but I just felt like he was an absolute joke.
Yeah, it was really poor. A lot of soft fouls and like that Nunes one that you mentioned. If Chelsea score from that, my lord.
Yes.
And to be completely honest, Liverpool's penalty that they scored, I saw all Gary Neville saying it was nil. I thought it was quite soft. I actually thought the barge on Salah before was more of a penalty, and I thought Sanchez's tackle on Jones was more of a penalty, to be completely honest. But, I don't know. I thought the referee kind of lost control of the game, to be honest.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He absolutely did. And, of course, for them, Nicholas Jackson scored and Case Jones responded within minutes in the second half. I've got nothing more to say about this one. You?
No, just I would give credit to Chelsea as well, because I was at the game last season when Chelsea went to Liverpool and they got absolutely played off the park. They couldn't get near them. And I think today was a bit of a testament to how far or how much Maresca has improved them so far. So I'm sure they'll be up around the top four by the end of the season. And I think they were just kind of lacking that cutting edge today.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is only the second game that they've lost. They've lost to Man City on the opening day, which I think was expected. And, it was like the baptism of fire for Maresca, and, of course, Anfield, which I think just generally they don't really travel at Anfield all so well anyway. So, I think the future is certainly looking really bright with Maresca and Chelsea over there. Right, so now let's talk about the shock, and then you can pick the next one. So, Bournemouth 2, Arsenal 0. Your thoughts on this one? 5:30 kick-off on a Saturday?
Yeah, it was a mental one. These 5:30 on a Saturday is normally quite entertaining, and this one was definitely didn't let anyone down. Obviously, I know the Saliba red card, some will say it changes the game, but I thought Bournemouth were really, really impressive from the get-go. I didn't think that often we criticise teams for standing off the Liverpool, Man Cities, the Arsenals, but they didn't seem to fear them at all, and then I think that red card kind of pushed them on even more. So fair play to Bournemouth for the way they approached the game, to be fair.
It's really quite interesting because Ivan Nilsson obviously was the player that Saliba brought down, and obviously the ref had to go to the screen. It was a horrible pass from Trossard as well. I thought defensively there was some suspect moments from Arsenal in this game, but obviously he gets sent off there. It's a red card, and then of course Arsenal getting done by a very, very good set piece, I might add.
Yeah.
Ironic.
Tables have turned, yeah. Yeah, now they know how it feels for everyone else when they do it every single week. No, it was a great finish from Christie as well. And I think he's one of the players that went under the radar for Bournemouth this season. But yeah, I thought Bournemouth, to be fair, I think as soon as the red card happened, you were kind of waiting for them. They've got the quality going forward now with Semenyo and Evan Nilsson. It was hard to see Arsenal keeping a clean sheet, but they were lacking cutting edge going forward as well. So to me, it was only going to go one way after the red card, and that's what happened in the end.
Yeah, and it got worse for them because Ivan Nilsson was fouled by Raya, and Kluivert scores a penalty. But yeah, that's Arsenal. Their unbeaten runs come to an end. Fantastic result and performance for Bournemouth, though. I think, they're just quietly just getting on with it. I won't say they're anything spectacular, but they're a team that when they get into their rhythm, they play some decent football. They're quite nice to watch.
Yeah, Iriola has them set up really well. And they play some attractive football. The likes of Kluivert, have really kind of changed the way they're seen and the way they play. But I know a lot of people will say, it was against 10 men, but the point still stands. I thought they were excellent.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. And Saliba looks like he'll miss the game against Liverpool.
Yeah, that's huge, by the way, because especially if you look, I'm sure it was Kivior who paid the pass back for the penalty.
Yes, it was.
So if he's the alternative and he starts against Liverpool, I'm sure he scored an own goal against Liverpool last season, actually, in the FA Cup. I think that's worrying for Arsenal if that is the alternative to Saliba.
Yeah, we'll see how that one pans out, but that's next week. We won't, no spoilers here from we've given enough there, right? So we've spoken about the headliner and the shock. Where do you want to go now, Ben?
Let's go with Man United.
Okay, yeah, let's do Man United. Okay, so Old Trafford, 3:00 kickoff. No early goal for Brentford. They had to wait a little while. I think it was 45 minutes. A header from a corner. I tell you what I found. I mean, I want you to talk about this, but I find Man United's defense very, very strange. They look like if he pretty much heads is it Sharda's knee?
Yeah.
And gets injured.
Yeah. Just when we were calling him clumsy the other week, he goes.
Yeah, that obviously happened prior. He's had 3 lots of treatment. His head was bleeding, and then he comes off, and then Brentford get a corner, Pinnock scores. I mean, just absolutely bizarre. But second half, I think United just upped the ante a little bit, and Garnacho getting a goal and Højlund a flick of the keeper, just some lovely goals. What did you make of this one? It's a good result for Man United because I think they've kind of shown a little bit of bite about them. They were a goal behind.
Yeah, that's what's been lacking, really. I think a lot of people have criticised them. I know we spoke after the Tottenham game about the lack of fight that they showed, but you couldn't say that about them yesterday. And it was a must-win for Man United, obviously, with the pressure on Ten Hag. And I think what they'll be kind of hoping is it's not a bit of Solskjaer where he'll lose 3 and then he'll cling on with a win and then he'll go on another run of pillar form and do the same over and over again.
With Benitez, that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does.
But yeah, it was much better. The likes of Garnacho, their quality's shown massively yesterday, but it kind of makes you wonder where it's been for the past few weeks.
It does, and you're right. I think it was a must-win game for Ten Hag. I don't know about you, but during the international break, I was feeling very, very sick. When you get you overindulge in content about Erik Ten Hag and who's going to replace it. It was literally the story, aside from obviously Tuchel taking over for the England job, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, but even that kind of went hand in hand, didn't it? Because Tuchel was a favourite to take over Ten Hag, so then when that happened and he went to England, it was like, well, kind of maybe they're forced to stay with Ten Hag. But yeah, it's a great win for them. Brentford's no pushovers, everyone in the league knows that. But I think Brentford will be a bit disappointed they didn't create a bit more against the Man United defence that they've been criticised quite heavily lately.
No, for sure. Right, where should we go now?
Let's go Newcastle-Brighton.
Oh, yeah, let's go for this one. Right, this one's a good one. Brighton win 1-0. Isak was back, which was great for Newcastle, obviously. Ferguson was back for Brighton. Welbeck gets the goal. What did you make of this one? Because I think Hurstler's just quietly, he's had some tough games and he's doing really well.
Yeah, Brighton do have quite a good record against the better teams in the league. And for me, the clean sheet was a big one. Brighton's defence has been criticised quite a bit lately. And I thought Verbruggen was really good in goal. And then going forward, we spoke about, I'm sure it was after the Tottenham game when we were talking about the options they have going forward and how good Welbeck's been despite, his age, and they showed that again. But yeah, Brighton really, really impressive. I think Hurstler is definitely going to, he already is a really good manager, but I think sky's the limit for him potential-wise.
Yeah, and given his age as well, it actually makes me sick. And your boy Rutter getting the assist as well, you're quite thrilled with that one.
Yeah, he's doing really well. I mentioned it last time. He fits what they want to do really well, and I think him alongside Welbeck, they seem to be partnering really well. And yeah, I'm sure Brighton. I'm not too sure what the upcoming games are, but I can't imagine them being a really tricky run of games given what they've played. I know they've got Liverpool coming up pretty soon, but other than that, I think they'll be really wanting to push and be in and around. Well, I mean, they're in and around the top 4 now, so if they can stay around where they are by Christmas, then there's no reason why they can't do something really special this season.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think about Eddie Howe?
Yeah, it'll be a frustrating one for him. Obviously, it was the Everton draw before the international break, wasn't it? That was the last game before the international break. Yeah. They just look really poor going forward. I know Isaac's back now, but he looked rusty yesterday, so hopefully we can get him firing. But really, really frustrating. Anthony Gordon doesn't look anywhere near as effective as he was last season. I thought Harvey Barnes looked good, and I thought Newcastle probably should have had a penalty for the handball. I can't remember which player it was who fell on the ball and kind of just grabbed the ball. Well, that's what I've seen to me. I know he's kind of fallen on it to begin with, but I think if that happens against your team, I think you're asking for a penalty, definitely.
Oh, yeah, you are. I think that's just confirmation bias right there. I think anyone would, right? You spoke about Everton there. Let's go here then. I feel like I've jinxed Ipswich. Ipswich 0, Everton 2. Everton holding on to it. Goal lead. Yeah. The jinx pod, yeah, but Everton holding on to a 2-goal lead as well. I mean, that's pretty impressive by them. But
yeah, it was. You were watching them when they went 2 goals up. You were like, oh, why have you done that? Yeah, but yeah, they held on. It's a huge win for Everton. They're slowly creeping up the league after a really poor start. But yeah, Ipswich, it's not looking great for them. They're slowly. I've been saying for weeks that they were slowly building into the season, but that's all now. Slowly getting worse and worse and worse, and defensively they look really poor.
Do you think if we start criticising them more, that they might start improving? Because, they're a really likeable side. I like watching them.
Yeah.
And I love the fight and the grit that they showed against Aston Villa. They were actually going for it towards the end. And, yeah, I agree with you there. And, yeah, I think Everton are just now sort of clawing back. I think Everton are probably, licking their lips, thinking there are some teams that are just significantly worse than us right now.
Yeah, and I think in the past, Everton have stayed up because there's been worse teams than them. I think a couple of years ago when they just stayed up on the last day, and I think really they only stayed up because there was 3 teams worse than them. But yeah, they look much better. As I mentioned them a couple of weeks ago, Ndai looks like a really good player for them as well. He looks like he's adding a kind of dimension that's been lacking to their attack for some time now, and I think he's helping Calvert-Lewin as well, having someone up there alongside him. So, yeah, I'm sure Everton will be looking to carry on this good run of form and try and get as far away from the relegation zone as before they hit. Well, I'm sure they'll hit another poor run of form pretty soon. So, make the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that because there were moments in the highlights I watched where I completely forgot that Calvert-Lewin was actually playing. And I think that's the problem with Everton when they've not got a focal point aside for him. So, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the other 2 teams that were promoted. Southampton 2, Leicester 3, 3 o'clock kickoff. My word. Goal fest, Southampton getting 2 goals there. And then Leicester City just clawing it back in the second half. And, last-minute drama, in added time, Jordan Ayew getting the winner.
Yeah, it was a mental game. This real classic Leicester sort of win, wasn't it? But yeah, I thought it's a great win for Leicester, but I think it's sort of a prime example why both teams will struggle this season and be down there, because I thought both of them were really, really poor defensively. And I mean, Southampton, we've been saying it for God knows how many weeks now, playing out from the back, and this sort of the way they're trying to play. It's gonna bite them on the back, but yeah, kind of you saw it coming as soon as Leicester scored. Southampton just defensively are all over the place, and but fair play to Leicester, they showed real fight. I thought Taru was absolutely brilliant when he came off the bench, and he sort of turned the game on its head.
He did. I mean, speaking of Southampton, I think our early criticism of them in this season was, they have a lot of ball and don't do an awful lot with it. So I went back and had a look at the stats and less possession, but the XG is better and more shots on goal. So perhaps, under Martin Russell, there is some slight improvement, but do you think he's got enough time?
No, I think time's running out. I'm sure they've got Man City away next as well. I hate saying stuff like this, but I'll be surprised if he's still there by Christmas if they keep on playing the way they're playing. I think something needs to change, and maybe there is a little bit of improvement, but to chip away a lead like that, it's inexcusable. And in fairness to them, I thought they should have had a penalty, but the striker doesn't go down when he's getting his shirt pulled, and then they go and do the exact same thing to Vardy. And it's a penalty and a red card. So it's just little things like that that really sort of change the game in different directions. And yeah, but I think it's definitely worrying for Southampton.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. Right, we've got 3 games left, I think, to cover. Where should we go now?
Tottenham, West Ham.
Oh, drama. Yeah. 12:30 kickoff. I'm sick to death of international football, Ben. You should know that about me. I hate football. This was spicy.
Yeah, it was a really good game. It was a classic sort of Tottenham West Ham game, and I mean, Kudus deserves credit both for the footballing and kind of the entertainment, doesn't he?
He really does. I think it was a really, really impressive. I thought Spurs started really bright, and then obviously West Ham take the lead, and Kulusevski. I mean, it was a bit of a fluky goal. Let's be honest. It's one pass, bounces off the other and goes in. I still think Spurs were the better side, although I do think it was closely contested. I also think the Porro Di Canio moment that almost should have happened but didn't happen with that shot. It was a really, really fun game. And second half, I think Spurs are really good at this. They start off really quick. And I know it wasn't as quick as the Man United game where they beat Man United, but, on 53 minutes, Bissouma scores. Then Son has a shot. I mean, they gave it to Areola as the own goal, but I think it should have gone to Torpedo because he's a defender. I don't know, where do you stand on this? And then Son on 59 minutes, but where do you stand on that own goal? I feel bad for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I'm not too sure whether... Because I know the keeper saves it, then it hits off the defender, so unless it maybe hits the keeper again, but even then it's a bit harsh on the keeper. Yeah, I think the defender's lucky to get away without an own goal that was there.
Yeah, I think he was probably just breathing a sigh of relief. But yeah, West Ham's defence just completely fell apart. And I felt like they kind of went back into their shell. And then the frustration came out. And then on the 83rd minute, Ben, what happened? Because Kudus just decided to choose violence within the game.
It was like WWE. Do you know what baffles me, though? How did that take VAR to come to a red card for that? The player goes down. He kicks him while he's on the floor twice.
Yeah.
And then gets up. Slaps him in the face.
Yeah.
Then slaps another player in the face.
Accidentally smacks Richarlison as well, who goes to...
And then he gets a yellow. The same as Van der Ven, who got booed on the floor twice and then gets slapped. Honestly, it really made us laugh watching that. It baffled me how it even took VAR. I think that kind of sums up some of the efficiency. And, we were talking about the Liverpool game where you're getting yellow cards for absolutely nothing, and then Kudus was... I mean, if VAR isn't there, the fact that he would have got away with a yellow card a few minutes ago for that is just scary to even think.
I can't lie. I kind of wish VAR wasn't a thing. Just see, did you imagine? How could you not see? He was stuck right there.
Yeah, he was literally 5 yards away.
Yeah, it just baffles me. And when he went off, the ref to run to look at his screen, Kudus knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of the spicy entertainment in the second half because I just thought at that moment West Ham had just completely shrunk.
Yeah,
answers.
It is worrying for West Ham though, the players doing that. It's kind of, I feel like you can kind of read into the atmosphere around the club and the team when your players start doing stuff like that, and Kudus walking off, taking his shirt straight off, and just the body language of the players, it doesn't look good at all. And another manager, I think Robert Lopetegui he's kind of watching over his shoulder at the minute. I know it'll be Ipswich before the international break, but I think he needs to start getting some more positive results, because we know the West Ham owners won't kind of settle for anything less than the top half finish, for example, or playing for those European places. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go from here.
It will indeed. Right, 2 games left, Ben. Where should we go next?
Fulham Aston Villa.
Okay, do you want to do that one? All right, what did you make of this one? Fulham 1, Aston Villa 3, 3 o'clock kickoff. Jimenez with an early goal, 5 minutes in. What did you make of this one? And of course, the lead didn't last long because Roger scores. It was a deflected shot.
Yeah.
I think for me, the highlight was Pereira's penalty.
So bad.
He kicked the ball like he either misses leg day or he's got an iron deficiency. That is probably one of the worst penalties I've seen.
It's like, you know, in your garden with like your little cousins or something, trying to teach them how to play football, and then like you playing patsy with them. It's like that. It's weird for him as well, because he takes he's normally a really clean striker on the ball, and I found it even funny the way Martinez celebrated the penalty save as if he'd pulled off some absolute worldly save. But yeah, it's a disaster for Fulham. But I thought Villa deserved the win in the end overall, on the whole kind of outlook of the game. A couple of red cards, 2 stupid red cards really.
Yeah, Watkins obviously scores a stunning goal to make it 2-1. The flick header was just lovely. I thought he guided it so well. And of course, it was Anderson who had his arms all around Watkins, who got the straight red, I think.
Yeah.
And which sub was it that came on that just scored an own goal?
Diop.
Diop, as he literally comes on and, of course, scores an own goal, which is awful. But I didn't feel Eugene with the 2 yellows. Yeah, it seemed like a fun 3 o'clock game, can't lie.
Yeah.
Very close though. I know it says 3-1, but if you look at the numbers and the stats and the XG, it was either equal shots on target. But yeah, Villa just being more cutthroat, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's one of the criticisms we've had of Fulham so far this season with the likes of Warby and Traore. They just, unless it's Jimenez at the minute, they don't seem to be finding the back of the net, which is a bit of a worry for them.
Yeah, and what I also find is they're not consistently good. I think for the international break, we were talking about Traore almost having a hat-trick against Man City, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, they have those kind of games and then they fizzle and, you know, you don't see much of them. But yeah, Aston Villa look pretty decent. And, you know, again, Unai Emery is showing that he can do things. And, of course, they'll be playing in Europe this weekend. Right. Then let's go to the final one. Wolves 1, Man City 2. An early goal for Wolves there by Sarr was in the lineup as well, which I think is a big thing. I think Johnston was, I think he picked up an injury, but Sarr came in. I thought he had a really good game. That's my personal thought. I thought he made some big crucial saves. I was absolutely devastated for him at the end. Wolves take the lead like within 7 minutes, and now it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. But I actually think prior to a matter of time, I still think Wolves play pretty, you know, they had a few good chances. I think Smedo had a good one.
Yeah, that's the big one. That's the exact sort of thing we were talking about with Fulham before the international break, where when you're on top, you've got to take the chances, and Wolves didn't, and they were punished in the end. And yeah, it's really it's heartbreak for Wolves in the end, but I thought they sat back way too soon. Fair enough, you go a bit more conservative, but to literally have all your men behind the ball, not even try and create anything from about 25, 30 minutes to go, you kind of only asking for it to go one way.
Yeah, definitely, and especially with obviously the big player being out for them as well. But let's talk about Gravidal, because obviously he was quite big in sort of stopping Smedo there, but his goal again, I just feel like he looks like a massive, massive threat. And, you know, we're speaking about Sarr, but I thought Totti did really well as well in that game in defence. Good to see them not give away stupid penalties in this one. But I think, you know, they were holding on, 5 minutes of added time, and then Stones with a you know, injury time winner from a set piece. But there was a lot of controversy around this one because VAR check, ref goes to the screen, Silva Is he offside? Is he obstructing the goalkeeper? It was just... this is how I feel about this one. If I'm a Man City fan, and if that was my team, I'd be like, no, that goal stands.
Yeah.
And if I'm Wolves, I'm like, no, it doesn't. But I don't think he did enough to obstruct him. I don't think he did.
Yeah, I was leaning towards that, in all honesty. He does barge him, but there's a good second or two between the barge, and then he does he has enough time. He has enough time to get set for the header, and it's just one of those really good header, and he doesn't get anywhere near it. But I thought City were lucky, because I think if the barge happens a second later, then he's clearly obstructing them. Yeah. But it is a tricky one, because obviously I'm not a goalkeeper. I don't know how much that barge puts you out of position, or like unsettles you, or someone like a former keeper will have to talk about that. But yeah, my initial thought was it's probably not offside.
Yeah, I'm pretty much that way as well. Pains me to say it, but that's how I feel. I think we've spoke about all the games. Of course, there's Monday Night Football, which obviously we can't cover, and it is struggling Crystal Palace against Nottingham Forest. That'll be on Monday. But Ben, is there any final takeaways? Anything you kind of want to mention before we kind of close off the pod?
No, I think looking at the game tomorrow, I think that's got 1-1 all over it. And that's going to draw all over. I don't think I'll be too. If I miss that one, I won't be too bothered, in all honesty.
It's clear Ben won't be watching that one. He will be otherwise engaged. But yeah, and he's denying Crystal Palace their first win of the season, which is really, really snide. But guys, that was game week 8. We hope you enjoyed the football. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. We'll be back again next weekend with some big games, so stay tuned for that one. Take care of yourselves, and we will catch you soon.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.